Hello, my name is Jürgen Rinelli and I'm a senior software consultant. Today I'm going to give you a technical, in-depth introduction into Endpoint Central. This is an endpoint management and endpoint security solution from ManageEngine. So have fun!
So here we are in the console from Endpoint Central. You can access the console through a browser. I'm in here with the Mozilla Firefox. Endpoint Central is an agent-based program, so you would need an agent on each endpoint you would like to manage. Right in the beginning, some basic facts. With Endpoint Central is included and coming the PostgreSQL database. This is a real performant database, up to 10,000 clients, I would say, easily. You can always migrate to an MS SQL database. I would strongly recommend that you first test it with the onboard coming database, because it is a one-way. You cannot migrate back to the Postgre. Yeah, other facts. How would the agent get pushed to the clients? This is done with either domain integration and then just selecting here the agents you would like to have. Click on the next, select the remote office where you would like to manage this agent, and then install the agent. This is the push version. And then there are other possibilities: agent installation, remote GPO, or even more command line SCCM, OS imaging, and AWS instances. How is Endpoint Central, the console, secured? Yeah, you have user administration here, and you would add users, technicians, and you can create local administrators or use the Active Directory. You can select a role, predefined roles, or even create here within the role tab own roles, roles to assign your technician to it. So let's say a patch manager will only be able to do patching, and if you assign this technician to a remote office or more different remote offices or selected groups, then this technician would only be able to work within this range you select here. As well, there is a secure authentication for the access. You have email authenticator or authenticator app, and there are other possibilities, user account policy, and there's a password policy. This policy is only for the local administrators. Next to how to secure Endpoint Central is you could use third-party SSL certificates, and as well you can use through the internet, where if you want to have an internet access to, especially if you use MDM as well, then it is recommended to use the secure gateway server. This is a component you would place within the DM set, and this would be like a forwarding server, acting and pushing everything and receiving everything from the internet and to the internet. This change would be done then in the NAT settings. Let's get through the product. Well, now here in the Home tab, I'm showing you the standard version. This is the professional and the enterprise version. There is as well a new security version. And as well, you would have the possibility within the enterprise and the professional version to add the endpoint security add-on. This is something I would show you in the end so that we won't have too much here in the menu bar. Okay. With Endpoint Central, you can manage not only Windows machines, you can manage even Macs and Linux machines. As well, you can establish a hardware and a software lifecycle. Here we have alerts and if there is something wrong, and even training videos. These are English videos from ManageEngine, training videos helping you to enable yourself with the product. Okay, and in the below section, let's scroll down. We have quick links with how-tos, knowledge base. We have FAQs and as well, again, videos. As well, you find here the roadmap. It's always visible to everyone. And if you want to have a feature request, just have a look. Is it already been recorded? Then just vote for it again. And there is as well a chat symbol. Just simply click on it and you can chat with a technician supporter from ManageEngine. Supporter is again a trigger. Of course, you have a support when you license the product. This comes with the licensing and you would have it through the chat, you would have it through Pitstop, the forum, and you would even have it through mail support. What else do we have here? We have some dashboards. You can change the dashboard's design. Excuse my English, I am German. So we have a lot of informations here. These informations all are linked, so you would be forwarded to each of those informations when you click on it. Let's get to the next, to configurations, the next tab. What are configurations? It's getting more clear when I click here. Let's start with Windows configurations. Yeah, you can send configurations. You can install fonts with it. You have secure USB. You have power management, user management. You have a lot of stuff what you would find usually within the Active Directory. But of course, you can add it here. And you can even manage workgroup computers. Mac and Linux is possible too. What else? We have collections. Let's build a computer collection. I'm a technician, so I would like to see a product first. I need to work all the day with it, so I need to be comfort. And I would like to show you some forms, how they look like, how you would work. Okay, let's select something. Let's select Wi-Fi. Let's select USB, and let's select registry. Wi-Fi. You can enable, disable, and you can create profiles. You cannot even create them. You can modify and delete them too. As well, secure USB. Skip changes, please. Secure USB. This is a simple port security working really good. And this I selected on purpose, of course. Here you have portable devices. Just exclude, block them, and then you can set some exclusions for device instances. This is something you would have from the enterprise version ongoing. And within the endpoint security add-on I mentioned earlier, and what I would show you later, there you can have it a bit more comfortable. So just keep it in your mind. Registry. Yeah, you can manually add some keys and you, of course, can import them. Coming to the skip changes, please. Define target. The targeting is one of the two, in my opinion, most important points within such a solution. Now, I need to know how to define the targets, how granular I can do that. And the next point is how and when will the patches and the software and configurations be published to the clients. So let's start with the targeting. You can choose remote offices. A remote office is a distant location, another office somewhere in another city, in another country, yeah, or even another building. You can just, if you have a lot of buildings, just divide them into building 1, building 2, whatever. And within these remote offices, you can even, you don't have to, but you can place distribution servers. These are just your components. You don't need a server OS. These are just software components working as a repository for software and patches so that the bandwidth would be saved. Yeah? And each client within this remote office would get their packages directly from that distribution server. Of course, they communicate as well directly to the Endpoint Central server, but these big, large packages they would get from their local distribution server. As well, we can select domain. That's what I'm gonna do now as a target. And there I can filter. It's a lot in there. So filter computers based on remote offices again, site, OU, or use, or organizational units, groups, computers, custom groups, IP ranges, etc. If you use OU or U, you just you can select whatever you would need. As well, you have the exclude target option. It's a very important thing that you can exclude even targets. Okay, the same way as like the upper part where you can target them. I always build a custom group with systems what never should be touched automatically. So this I call it even never touch those systems group. And then you will always be safe if you have somewhere an automatism running for patching or software deployment. Then you can be safe that these systems won't get these configurations. As well, dynamic groups, Windows servers, whatever. You can exclude as much as you want, as many as you want, and you can add as many targets as you want. Okay, that's for this dialog with the configurations. What else do we find within the configurations? You have the script repository. This is the place where you import or write your scripts. And there is as well the templates. Here are right now 360 templates for different platforms and categories. So when you just working with Windows or Mac or whatever, you would need to know how to do it to do some configurations within network settings, within Windows, for example, and then you just select here and add this script to the repository. And within the repository, you even have the ability to edit the script. Now there's a script editor too. And from here, with the action, you just add a computer configuration and deploy it to the targets. Let's go on to the patch manager. Within the patch manager, you can save a lot of resources. A lot of things can be done automatically. Here within the dashboard, as well as system health graph and missing patches by severity. Everything can be clicked and is getting you directly in there. Let's start with what can I patch? Patch database settings. Within Microsoft Windows, you have all the Microsoft updates, so you can replace the WSUS. And I even recommend that you don't use the Windows Update Server together with this, with Endpoint Central, with the Patch Manager. Mac as well possible, and Linux. And as you see, even third-party patches in all those flavors. The patch database is being updated once a day automatically, and you within the with the update now button you can update it whenever you like. So what can we see about the patches? Within here, within the patches group, we already have some folders where the agents report and they say, okay, we have some patches missing, and then you will find them here. We have patch ID, bulletin ID, patch descriptions, and the approval status. This is very important, the approval status. You can only publish automatically with an automatic patch deployment policy. You can only publish the approved patches. You always can manually deploy not approved ones, but automatically only the approved. You can approve manually here, approve, decline, or not approved, even decline. But it is done even easier within the test and approve section. So then you see on which systems is this patch missing, severity, here, and the severity is given from all these software vendors. It is not changed from ManageEngine or us. Then as well you see platform, you see is a reboot necessary, required or not, and even if a patch uninstallation is supported from this particular patch. What else do we see? We can click here on some of those patches, getting here in front, and we will have bulletin details, more details about the patch, and in front on the patch ID, supported languages, and if you hover over this link here, but the patch name, you would see it in the left lower corner of the screen. This is the download location. So you see it is nothing hosted with ManageEngine or the partners within your countries. If we want to publish a patch, we just click on it, install, publish patch, and we would have this dialog where you even can uninstall the patch if it is supported, of course, and you just deploy it or publish it into the self-service portal, and there is the deployment policy. There are some pre-configured ones, and these deployment policies are the when and how. This is something we would see later in detail. We will build one together. This is necessary in order to publish a patch. So here is the target already predefined, because from there where we went on, we had only one target, is only one inside, and the retry count. Then deploy immediately, and the patch will be rolled out. That's very easy. So let's have a look on the way how could we save resources within the patch management. Let's get into test and approve. We can change to test and approve from the enterprise version on. Within here, within this section, you can add groups with some key users where you can select the patches, what you would like to be deployed automatically. and you can say even here that the patches would automatically be approved 3 days after installing if everything is gone correctly with the patching. And when these patches are approved later, we can build automatic patch deployment policies, APDs, and we have some here already. So you have a dashboard, you see what is going good, what is going wrong, and you can work on that. So how we build something like that? I just ran through it within the test and approve section because I want to build one here together with you to show it. It is really easy. Let's build something for critical and important patches client. You can even give it a name just for Windows or for Macs or for special remote offices. I make a sample like that here. So security updates, critical and important, I mentioned here or above. And you can then select all applications for Microsoft in this way and patch specific applications only or patch all except something. Okay, patch all will remain. Third party, you can do the same, critical and important, and even give exceptions here too. Let's say some Java or some Citrix or whatever. So patch all applications in the sample. Antivirus updates, driver updates, and then here again only approved patches, manually approved or through test and improvement, will be deployed within this policy, within this configuration. Deploy patches after, critical and important patches. I won't wait longer. I already had a test phase, so deploy patches after 0 days from approval. Next. Now we can simply deploy them through the deployment policy or even publish them to the self-service portal. We deploy them with a deployment policy, what we are gonna build together now. Create, modify policy, a new window will be opened. And now let's create a policy. Even here, critical and important patches clients. Regular split based on Patch Tuesday. Here you can select the weeks. I remain with regular split, select all weeks and select every day except Saturday and Sunday. I'm not there. Deployment window. I always like 11. You can add more schedules as you wish. Here, download patches from server to agent only during the deployment window or anytime agent contacts the server. And I like to pre-cache always the patches in order to save some bandwidth. Initiate deployment at system startup, refresh cycle, or whatever happens earlier. The refresh cycle, I'd like to explain shortly. The refresh cycle is the 90-minute time frame where each client, based on their particular startup time, would contact the server and ask if there is something new in line for them. So if there's something new, a new patch just or software just released, okay, then they will pre-cache it and wait to their particular defined deployment window. Save and continue. Pre-deployment activities like wake on LAN, just select it and drag it into. Pre-deployment reboot can be established, and there can be executed a custom script prior the deployment. Pre-deployment user notification. Yes, we can notify our users with a custom text. We can even allow them to skip the deployment. We have forced deployment and we can show the deployment progress. With critical and important patches, I do not mess around, so I don't give them the opportunity and I don't disturb them. So next is post-deployment activities. When you do not drag anything into, then there won't be a reboot or shutdown executed. You can do so by dragging it into even custom script. And I just show you how the reboot and shutdown section works. Reboot, force reboot, or delay reboot with some further options in postponing the intervals, and even exclude reboot for servers. This is working only for Windows servers, and skip reboot for machines that do not require reboot. Shutdown is the same like the reboot section, just with a very, very important feature: restart and then shutdown. So if you would deploy patches at night, at weekends, then you would like to wake up the systems, and then automatically with wake on LAN, and then you would patch them, and then you want them to shut down. Okay, but to have the green policy of the company. But with some Microsoft patches, feature packs, for example, once you do the reboot, there will be a lot of time still in an update process. So restart the device first and then shut it down, and on Monday all your users can start working instead of going to the coffee shop, getting a new coffee. So this is how the deployment policy would be created. When we go back, we can select it here. When you create a new one, there is a refresh button. Just click on it, and then let's have some self-created critical patches clients. Yeah, I have pre-configured one with different time frames, so you see how this works. And then within the automatism, the APD, you select the targets, as we've seen already, and there are also some notifications you can configure. This is a job easily done with the automatism, with the APD, and these automatic patch policies. Once you have created one, you even can save it as new without targets or with all targets. You can suspend them and modify them. All right, let's go on to software deployment. This is a quicker section, a quicker subject. Even here within the software deployment, I would like to start with templates. Within the templates, we have here 63,000 templates. This is for different operating systems and a lot of software. You all know it. Within enterprise enrollment, you need to do it silently, the installation, deployment process, and you will need the full installer, and you will need the silent install switches. Full installers are getting more rare within the home pages of the vendors. They always have those download installers, please register and whatever. Then there is the install switches. They are not lying around there too. So you would need to contact the support or go through some forums and find them. And here, ManageEngine has done a great job. They already pre-configured something. And they have their templates here with all the necessary silent install switches and non-install switches. And here, this is the full installer. So even this is not hosted with ManageEngine. And this comes right through the vendor homepages. Then you can click on Create Package, and the package will be done. The install switches, you all know it, they're not the same all the time here. So it is always difficult to find them. So once you have created one package out of a template, they will land here. You find them here, and then you can just within Actions install software computer user-based. This is the same dialog we have already seen within the patch management. As a sample, 7-zip, yeah, it is a small installer, so it is downloaded really fast. When I do not have a package, I will have it installed on the first computers within 3 minutes when I build it from out from the template, this package. 3 minutes. So when you have the template here, the package here, excuse me, then you can modify it, the package, and even add pre-deployment activities and post-deployment activities. Conditional checks, software, disk space, configurations, manage ongoing process, stop that process first, and services, the same, uninstall software is done too. And there are post-deployment activities with, again, some configurations, create or delete shortcuts, and execute some custom scripts, whatever. The same will be within the uninstall section. Uninstallation and installation is configured within the same package. Yes, and this is about how modifying, and this is the same dialog what you would have if you create a new package. Let's have it here, add Windows or Mac package. You would only need to check MSI or exe, then your install switches will be changed, MSI, exe, now there's other install switches, select the license type and select, from where you will find the installer. From a shared folder, then you would need all the full name, server, etc., and or from local computer, so you could upload from your local computer the installer to the software repository of the Endpoint Central server. And then all the other pre-deployment activities you need to select on your own. Advanced settings, just give the architecture some package properties and exit codes. You can see a package is built easily. What else do we have here? The self-service portal is located here, even for software. This is something what more and more companies are moving to. They start with their onboarding process, explaining the self-service portal, so there is no need to install all the software on each client. So when a user needs, let's say, Acrobat or WinZip or whatever, they can install it out from the self-service portal on their own. And another advantage is they can even repair it on their own. If you have more software you want to publish in one process, of course, this can be done too with a task sequence. You just select package name. Let's say this. Let's just take 1, 2. So okay, and then you can even change the sequence. The packages will be installed within the sequence you have here. Okay, just define the deployment policy anytime at the earliest or whatever, define the target, and the software can be deployed automatically. With this, you even can select a group, let's say new computers organization unit. You join after the OS deployment, you join the computers automatically into this particular organizational unit, and the client, the agent, once it comes alive, would receive all this software automatically. Let's move further into the inventory. Yeah, already we have a license expiry. Within the inventory, we have the asset summaries, we have warranty summaries, hardware and software lifecycle. What do we see? We have computers. Just click on one of the computers, and then we have the summary, IP addresses, whatever, OS summary, device summaries. We have from the system informations about services, users, groups, drivers, and shares. We have hardware informations, BIOS, hard disks, monitors, how many, what kind of monitor is installed on that system, motherboard, physical memory, what is in the system and what is maximum supported. Then there is a software tab with desktop apps. Here you even can uninstall the software. This is one of the of lot of places where you can uninstall software. And there is the metered software section. What is metered software? Metered software is a way to save, literally money, resources. Let's say you have 10 Photoshop licenses within your company. Then the HR is coming. Oh, we have a new colleague, and this colleague will need Photoshop. You do not have 11 licenses. You only have 10. So, and maybe you only have 3 people working within marketing and 2 within specific graphic department. So 5 licenses. You already have 10 out there. So you need to find out if they are really necessary in the company everywhere. So then you can start a metering for all of the clients within the company, and you will see how often and how long the Photoshop is being used. Yes, of course, these are personal informations. And you can everywhere you find this where you find this export button, you can export this data, but you can pre-configure that each report can only be exported with mask personal information or remove personal information, so that the technician can only decide between these two. So there's no personal information inside these reports. Next is the certificates. You can even scan certificates. You can scan file details. This is not showing file names. It is a summary of, let's say, MP3s. How many MP3s in a memory summary of are on that system. There is the security tab, BitLocker, antivirus, firewall, missing patches, USB audit, and there is a history, a user logon history, and even an audit history showing what has been done on that particular day. We even have the possibility to prohibit software with auto uninstall policies. We have the ability to block executables, not only with path, but even with hash. And here is the software metering I mentioned earlier, and the license management. You can import licenses from an CSV file or add them here manually. With costs, purchase date, and even the license file, invoice file, and purchase order. And here you can associate the license to computers. It is only an association, not and install this license and activate the license on that particular system. It is only an association, so I do know at the end of the day on which computers this license is on purpose. And then there is configure alerts, hardware added, removed, software uninstalled, license, disk space, proactively get an information about less disk space, certificate expiration, etc. Next section is the OS deployment. What is not possible to do in there? You cannot download a Microsoft ISO file and deploy it within. The OS deployment is a component where you create an image from a hardware or a virtual machine and deploy this hardware independent on other targets. How is it done? You just go in here, create image, and choose a system what you want to image. As I said earlier, you can image a hardware and a virtual machine. I always recommend that you build a golden image and manually on a virtual machine, just manually install your Windows system without extra software, without virus software and so on. Just install it and activate or deactivate the features what you want or not. Then create an image. Creating such an image is really fast. It is done within a minute. And then you can deploy this image to each system because each system will receive their drivers out from the driver repository. Yeah, you just add here manually the drivers. An automatic driver collection will be added if you create an image from a hardware. You just need to add here manually the other hardware drivers so that you can deploy it even on other systems. And there is even no need to install to have all the software already installed on that machine where you create an image. Because within the software deployment, as I showed earlier, you can create a task sequence what would push automatically all standard or necessary software. Domain join and will be done within a template. Let's just create a template together so that you would see this dialog too. Select image. You just choose the image you want to publish. You see the partitions, where what has been imaged to. You can deselect even some. Here you select just if you want to generate a new SID. You can name the computer automatically or during the deployment process. And here is the domain join. Local user accounts can be added or removed. Domain user accounts can be added or removed. How can I deploy an image? Through bootable media, and you can do it with PXE, USB, and ISO. This is just a quick overview of all the components of Endpoint Central, so I'm not getting more in detail here. Next section would be the MDM section. Even here, mobile device management is a real big tool. I will just fly over it. So what can you manage? What can you enroll? Let's go in the enrollment tab. Here you can enroll Apple devices, Android, Windows, and Chrome devices. You can include the Apple Business Manager for the supervised devices, Apple Configurator. You will have the Android EMM token enrollment. This is a really easy way to deploy supervised devices, zero-touch enrollment, NFC enrollment, and Knox mobile enrollment. and more. Even a self-enrollment can be established, and as well you can bring your own devices, of course. There will be a containerization between the apps within Android devices automatically, of course, and so that each application app you deploy is automatically a managed app and would not communicate with the private apps. Same can be done, of course, with the Apple. Within Apple, you just need to get into the management, into the profile, and here you have to configure it. Let's see how those profiles look like. Let's first go on the iOS, as I mentioned right now, because of the bring your own devices communication. Just name it, just continue here, and here is the password, the passcode section, and within the restrictions, you can restrict camera, FaceTime, Siri. The security section is the section with the bring your own devices, what I just mentioned. Yeah, share data between managed and unmanaged apps. Just restrict from managed to unmanaged or both ways. And then you can even choose more. Device functionalities and iCloud and such can be restricted and allowed according to the supported functionalities. Yeah, is needed a supervised device for it. Yeah, on a bring your own device, it's not really cool to restrict the camera. Wi-Fi can be configured per app for VPN, Exchange Active Sync, a kiosk mode is possible, and a lot of other cool configurations. How does it look like with the Android profile? Create Android profile, MDM, OEM configuration, password section, and you even can minimum password length of 16 and be really kind to your users and disable the biometrics. You can do restrictions too here, and yeah, workspace security, Wi-Fi settings, Exchange Active Sync, kiosk modus is here possible as well, wallpaper and ongoing. The devices can be gathered within groups, and on these groups you could publish the profiles and the apps. And a big advantage of grouping is that when you have, let's say, a consultant who wants to move into the sales team, you just move the device in the other group, and the respective profiles and apps will be added and removed, of course. Then there is a content management where you could publish on specific groups and devices specific files. And you have a remote control, conditional access, you have a geofencing, and the app repository looks like this. Here, this is where you publish managed apps out from the respective stores, or even enterprise apps are possible. Self-hosted, Google-hosted, Apple enterprise apps, and you can publish them then to the devices. Of course, there is an advanced auditing here, where you can see what has been done on the systems. Let's go further to the tools. The tools, the toolbox, as I like to call it, includes remote control, system manager, remote shutdown, wake on LAN, chat, announcement, and system tools. Let's have a look on the remote control first. You can get into user sessions, even with this three dots here within a terminal session. Yes, you can configure it that the user needs to confirm that you get control over his session, and but you always can connect into the system with when it is locked with your own credentials. Then, so let's move this here. This is the usual way of remote support. We use a remote control and get visually on the system. We have Control-Alt-Delete here. Alt-Tab, we can blacken the monitor, disable the input devices, take screenshots, even the performance statistic is here. And we have some quick launch buttons, command prompt, device control panel, device manager, and so. This is really, really cool, these quick launches, because if the GUI of the computer is slow already, or in a language I'm not used to, then I can use those quick launch buttons and get into the control panel, for example. There is power options, log off, reboot, safe mode, shutdown, and admin tasks. This is really cool. I do have update group policy force here. So I just click on it and it is working. There is a file transfer. There is the chat, text chat, voice call, video call. I just like to mention text chat is available in all versions, and voice and video call from enterprise version ongoing. So this is the usual way of remote control, but we don't need it all the time. We can work from the background too. We can use the system manager. Let's have a look on it. Task manager. Here now, all active processes will be shown, and yeah, I can search for them, and I even within the action button I can kill this process. There are startup programs. I can change the status, enable, disable. There is a task scheduler. There is computer renaming. There is services. Here, the tool is searching for all installed services, and I will given the name, the startup type, the status, log on user, and within action button, I even can disable, stop, start the services. Then there is a command prompt, a PowerShell. We have reg editor. So let's log on machine. Let's have a look how it looks like. File manager, device manager. Even the device manager is not only something you just see. You can enable and disable features. You can enable and disable those components. We have shares, printers, groups, software, and users. Even here within the software section, you can uninstall software in the action button. Then there is, within the toolbox, a remote shutdown. And even hibernate, log off, standby. You can schedule it. There is wake on LAN. Even here with a scheduling, the chat with voice call, video call, and such. There is announcements. This is really cool too, because when you have, let's say, the Exchange server is down, so you need to inform your users. And this would be the way how to do it. You can just publish a message. You can have a start announcement, end announcement. You can publish it multiple times. Yeah, even each minute to some specific users would be possible. And this message will be on the monitor, and it would be always in front of the monitor. So a user needs to click it away. Then there is system tools with some maintenance, automatic maintenance and cleanup tasks you can configure. As well, there is the reporting section. Yes, we can schedule reports with filters and get them out on regular basis to specific users and specific days and times. There are custom reports. There's a report builder in here where we can build our own reports. There is query reports. If you like to use SQL statements, you can do so. And there is the Active Directory report section. When you have the Active Directory included, so you have user reports, unused user account reports, computer reports, OU reports, even nested OUs. And all those reports have drill down functionalities. Domain reports and GPO reports as well. Then there is other reports like configuration reports, patch reports, inventory reports. These are pre-configured reports you can already use, and these reports you can send even through the scheduler automatically with filters. Within the agent sector, we have already been. Here you can add your remote offices, and even within IP scoping, you can add the computers automatically to a specific remote office. Within the admin section, I would like to mention that you have the add-ons, endpoint security add-ons, browser security. The endpoint security add-on I will show right now. Integrations, there are some integrations. Service Desk Plus, Help Desk, these are from ManageEngine, and the integration is really in depth. So when you integrate Service Desk Plus and Help Desk or Jira, you have the ability to publish through Service Desk the software, or you can initiate a remote control right from Service Desk, out from a ticket. And there are as well APIs where you can integrate other systems, ServiceNow, Advanced Analytics, Threat Scanner. Now let's switch to another environment where I do have enabled the endpoint security add-on. So let's switch. Here we are. This is the full version. Yeah, I have integrated here the endpoint security add-on, and as I mentioned, there is the security edition 2. This is the highest version, including all features of the UEM version plus the security features. So the security features include device control, BitLocker, endpoint DLP, Anti-Ransomware, app control, browsers, and based on the patch manager, the threat management. Let's start with device control. As I showed you within the configurations there, where you can find a basic port security, you will have here a more comfortable version. Device control. What you can do is you add trusted devices within a group. Create. I have built one with a removable storage device, then publish, and then create a policy, Windows or Mac, removable storage devices. Block, allow, or allow trusted devices only. And then I have file access settings. I have choose this the group, and file access settings, device access settings, allow only BitLocker encrypted devices, file shadow settings. I do have a lot of additional options, and I do have device audit settings and the alerts. As I publish this policy then to specific groups, and there is another really cool feature. This is the temporary access. I can grant access on a specific computer, a specific user for a specific time frame, and grant only specific devices. Insights, reports, and settings we do have too. The next is BitLocker management. This is the most easiest and smallest part. Yeah, here we just create a policy where we encrypt the devices, tell them TPM only, passphrases, or TPM and enhanced PIN. And we do have even advanced settings. And these policies can be deployed again to specific groups. The recovery key can be automatically renewed and even retrieved within here, the console, or can be published into the domain controller. Endpoint DLP. Now, let's have a look into it. Email addresses, German sensitives. I have pre-configured, new data rule with data classifications. Just have a look, and then you could search for, let's say, Germany, German international bank numbers, value-added tax numbers, and such, and you even can add own rules. It works really, really good. I've created a German video already about it. And yeah, you publish this to specific groups again and have your insights. Then there is the Anti-Ransomware tab, where you can activate the anti-ransomware on some on specific devices. Even here, more details available within other videos or directly from the vendor. App control. Here, I can work with, whitelists and blacklists, and even with the whitelists, I can work with restricted or audit whitelists. So within the restricted whitelist, I would allow only those applications I want them to be granted. And within the audit, all blacklisted applications would be excluded, of course, and then whatever is not on one of those lists would land within the gray list. Application groups can be built here. Whitelist, create allow list, create block list. It's the same thing. You can search for all the software you want and add them to the lists. There is as well a just-in-time access, similarly to the device control, where you could grant on a specific computer, specific time frame, access to all applications or specific. Then there is a privilege management. This is really cool. You all know it. Some applications still need administrative rights in order to start them, to execute them. So you need to grant administrative privileges to users, and we all want them a lot. So here comes ManageEngine with this application control with the privilege management. You can grant these applications elevated rights, and then you can remove the local admin rights from the users. The application will be running as a administrator. Then there is browsers. The browser security feature allows me as a add-on management, threat prevention, download filter, browser customization, browser rerouting and lockdown. And within the customization, I can configure, let's say, Windows or Mac, let's say for Google Chrome. Let's build one, have a look into it. Yeah, content restrictions, security restrictions, homepage and startup. I can configure it, and I can even say that this is the default browser or not. There are a lot of insights too. And let's switch to the last part, the threat management. Sitting on top of the patch manager, tenable iOS threats. We do have software vulnerabilities with more further informations, of course. We know affected systems, CVS scores, and we can rearrange it. Then we have detected CVEs, affected systems, patch availability status, and we have zero-day vulnerabilities where we can fix it already. There is system misconfigurations where I can deploy those configurations. Even here we can sort them differently. We have high-risk software. This is divided into end-of-life, peer-to-peer, and remote desktop sharing. We have web server misconfigurations. Here, I cannot publish something automatically from the console, but I can have a resolution. I know the description, and I have a severity, and I have a resolution. I will be directed where I can change something. Even this is possible in the other view. Then there is the port audit. Which port with which type is open on which instances, and the description of the port. So this has been all the features of the endpoint security add-on. And even I'm on the end at the end of my presentation of a slightly more in-depth introduction into Endpoint Central. It remains an introduction. There are a lot of more possibilities. I just wanted to give you a feeling about the product, just some insights, so that you are even able to start maybe with testing. I just want to thank you for your time, and if you need more information about Endpoint Central, about ManageEngine, just visit the site. The information I will provide in the end of this presentation on a slide. And have fun using Endpoint Central. I'm more than convinced about that product. I've been an SCCM specialist, and I have seen a lot of other products. This Endpoint Central is up and running, and even you could even start patching latest an hour. So I do not have any other software in my mind solution what can do this quick and this intuitive. It is just one installer you need. You don't need to install pre-requirement software. It is one single installer. It is done on a virtual machine. It is done on the hardware. And Endpoint Central is even available as a cloud version. So you do not even need to install it somewhere. Check it out. And if there are some questions, just contact us, and we will be more than happy to assist.